All right, there it goes. Now it's working. All right. Hello, everybody out there in Radio Land and everybody out here on the online. Thank you guys for tuning into The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. We are here in your ear having the conversations that you need to hear. We are the conservative voice of New York State, the #1 conservative talk show in upstate and the rest of the state. Let's make it the whole continental U.S. and even Alaska and Hawaii, maybe Guam too. So sit back, relax. Let's have the important conversations that we need to have and get them out there. And remember, get out and vote. Make sure that you know who you're voting for before you go. You don't have to vote for all the candidates on the ballot. Just get out and vote for the people that you want to vote for. And you could even write yourself in if you're not sure who to pick. But I always encourage people to go out and vote. It's of the utmost importance. Now, we were just talking about how people out here, they do all of these types of crazy behaviors, acting up, throwing stuff, destroying property and stuff like that when they get mad at different policies or elected officials. And usually it's not very impactful. I mean, you look at the BLM movement and the so-called summer of love, the summer of mass destruction is more of what it was. They claimed they care about Black lives and they tore up all the Black neighborhoods. Somebody's got to make that make sense to me. Now, you tell me, was that effectual or impactful for what they stated that they were about? No, absolutely it was not. And this was a serious issue. But you know what was even worse was they told us that they care and stuff like that, and then destroyed it destroyed everything. It's like letting the enemy in. It's like I don't trust any type of like the space invaders or space aliens. I would never trust them. I would never trust them. Run them all off. We ain't doing none of that to begin with. You know what I'm saying? You let somebody in that clearly is having ulterior motives, like the BLM people, that they had ulterior motives. And what happened? Whose neighborhood suffered the most? Black neighborhoods, underserved communities, working class communities, not the wealthy, affluent people, And you got to ask yourself, well, why was that? What was the intentionality behind any of that then? Well, the intentionality was just such, to cause havoc and massive problems in those underserved communities. That was the purpose of the BLM riots. Now we're seeing the whole same type of a push with this destabilization when it comes to SNAP. Now, mind you, it's not really the people in these communities that are pushing and promoting this nonsense. It's people online that are trying to seize on people's emotions and stuff like that. And really, it's a psyop. Both of them were psyops, psychological operations against the people to keep us in a perpetual situation in which we are unstable and we have less resources. That's what the whole point is. We already sat through what happened with BLM and when they tore up all of the businesses and the stores and stuff in our community. A lot of businesses closed and never came back. You know what I'm saying? Even big box retailers. Now they're like, oh, well, the SNAP benefits are running out, so everybody should go steal stuff from Walmart and from Target and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you exactly why that's being pushed on the internet. Are you ready? Are you guys sitting down? Hit the share button, hit the like button. It don't cost you nothing. You can even drop a comment. All of that increases the algorithm to get it out to more people. Thank you. I see that like right there. And drop a comment. Just drop a thumbs up or a wave hand or American flag. I love the American flag, so definitely drop one of them in the comments. And if you drop a good comment, we're going to try to pop it up on the screen. Let me see if we got any comments right now. All right. No comments yet. All right. So as we have this conversation, I want to talk about these SNAP benefits and what's going on with the psychological operation behind them, you guys. What we're experiencing is, and I don't know exactly who's behind it, right? Like I can't say, oh, well, it's the CIA. Might be. I can't say, oh, well, it's the elites. Probably. It's always the elites at the end of the day. But probably. But I can't pinpoint it on anybody specific, But what it is it's a push to get rid of all the other stores and all the other businesses and put tighter restraints on them so that they are either not open at all, or now they have all types of extra scanning mechanisms and stuff that you have to go through to get into them. Like, can we have that real conversation? Like, they're trying to encourage complete destabilization when we've got so much potential right now as a nation to come together. And I think honestly, between the snap and the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we really have to start looking at what's going on in our country. Like, these events don't happen in a vacuum. And even if they're not related, like, you have to start seeing that people are using them for our ulterior motives, and they're stacking one on top of the other on top of the other, creating more destabilization, creating more division. Also, that we do not join together and flip the table over because the people that are running the table are gaming all of us. That's what it is at the end of the day. That's the same thing with Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad, all Congress bad. What do you mean? The federal government bad. What do you mean? The state government bad. And for many city governments, city government bad. You know? So when people say, oh, well, it's this, or oh, well, it's that, is it? Is it really? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not lifting anybody up and saying, oh, well, they're a mensch or anything like that. But I am saying this. If we, as the people of the United States of America, and I know we got some international listeners listening in from Canada right there. Okay. New Zealand, got you. So I know we as the people in America have to understand that there are forces that do not want us to unite together, because they know that if we unite together, we can actually make a difference. You know, the working class black person has more in common with the working class white person than they do with the wealthy black person or the wealthy white person. But they want us to fight against each other. You know what I'm saying? They want to pit us against each other. The second they killed Charlie Kirk, they try to pop Nick Fuentes and his racist self up everywhere with his Mexican self. Okay, and that's not a dig on Mexicans as a whole. I love me some Mexican American females. Don't get me started. And they're some of the most conservative people you'll ever meet right now. They really winning. I think that the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans got to step up their game. Y'all females got to step up your conservative game, because the conservative Mexican American females is winning. Y'all falling behind Puerto Ricans and Dominican Americans. Y'all got to step up y'all game, women. Love y'all. But the Mexicans is winning right now. So, but like I said, this turd face, nasty mouth. I'm trying to not to say the things that I would in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just not a good person, you know? And honestly, a lot of people follow him, but now he's been platformed on all types of things like Tucker Carlson. And I'm not very happy with Tucker Carlson over that. Tucker Carlson, and you've even got Candace Owens talking about him. He was on PBD, Patrick Bet-David. Who's the other guy he was on? I don't know. I seen him some other places too. And I'm like, y'all giving a platform to this dude, and he's super, super racist. Like, he even says he's racist. Like, and he's always just doing some stuff to destabilize our country. Like, he's an op, y'all. Like, Nick Fuentes is an op. He's an operation that's being not just an opponent. He is not just an opposition. He is an operation that is being used against the people. And then when Charlie died, then he tried to put in all of this stuff talking about, oh, well, you know, let's dispel the possibility that somebody did something and it's a cover up and stuff like that. Bro, who got to you? Who's putting money in your pocket? You know, and then he comes off all anti-Israel and stuff like this. But I really wonder, is he just not controlled opposition? Because a lot of the things that he says are really, really, like, if you sit with it and listen, it's sketchy as hell. Okay, as heaven, I should say, excuse me. Amen. But it's really, really odd and unusual. And a lot of people are following him now because he says he's America first, this, that, and the other. No, he's not. What he was perpetrating is, I don't even know. I don't want to call it white nationalism, because that's not what it is. It's not what it is that he's perpetrating. He's perpetrating something else. He's like a Valentina Gomez, but in a male form. If you don't know who she is, she's trash carpetbagger, fake caricature of a conservative. Just like when you see people that like the old cartoons where they be having the black people singing Mammy and stuff like that. That's what Valentina Gomez is for conservatives today. She's super trash. She was running, I believe, for Arizona or New Mexico Secretary of State, and then she lost. And within a month, she moved to Texas to run for Senate. Are you dumb? Like, you don't have any loyalty to nobody. And she's from Colombia. Stop playing in my face, you know? But these people, and now she's all gun-ho about Israel this and Israel that. I thought you was pro-America. Now you pro-Israel? Like, you just going with the money, because Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu got up out there and outside and said, you know, we're going to pay you $7,000 per post that you make that will give you more money and stuff like that. So he's out here buying American influencers to influence Americans to benefit Israel, which is a whole foreign country. I don't mess with none of these people. Now, and I know you might say, oh, well, Nick Fuentes says that he's anti-Israel. I don't know that he is. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not dependent on whether he is or whether he isn't. The point of the matter is I believe very firmly, based on his actions, based on his behaviors, based on his mannerisms and his engagements, that he is not sincere in his beliefs, and he is being used and manipulated by somebody else intentionally. And he knows it, and he's going along with it. He is nothing more than a character, not a caricature, but a character, of for destabilization in our nation. That's what he is. So he's pushing all of these young Americans, especially, into this whole anti-Israel, anti-black nonsense portal hole. Now, being America first is one thing, right? I'm hardcore America first. Y'all know me. Okay, always have, always will be. And I'm not just America first. I'm America only. I care less all the other countries fall off the face of the earth tomorrow. I don't live in another country. I live in the United States of America. So I want what's in the best interest of our country, but I want what's in the best interest of our people. That's why I'm avidly for small government. The federal government bothers me so bad. Okay, I don't care who's in office. Okay, but the fact of the matter is this. There is a group, and I'm going to come back to him, and I want to get back to the snap because it's all part of the same balloon that's getting bigger and bigger and ready to pop. There is a group of people that are manipulating many things in our society that are not necessarily working together, but I think it was George Carlin said this, but he said they all go to the same schools, they all have the same accountants, they all know each other, they know what's best for them. In their elite groups, they know what's best for them, so they don't have to openly coordinate. You know what I'm saying? And all of this destabilization, this snap stuff, this Nick Fuentes stuff, this murder of Charlie Kirk stuff, all of it all ties in together to destabilize our country and keep us separated. And it's very problematic. Hit the like button, hit the share button. It doesn't cost you nothing. And drop a comment with an American flag in the comments. It helps the algorithm. And if you drop a good comment, we pop it up on the screen and we talk about it. But as we have this conversation, I need you guys to know that they're trying to keep us separated and not looking and not focused, because right now they're pushing to destabilize the dollar completely. Okay, and Nick Fuentes is one of those assets that they're using and manipulating. There's also a rise of this. I want to put this on there. Maybe we can talk about it a little bit later. But I want to put this on your notifications, you guys. Like, we are fighting the global elites, okay, and the elitists, and they've got this whole thing going on right now, which is white globalism superiority. I know you guys probably haven't heard of it, and maybe I need to figure a better name for it, but that's what it is. It's white globalist superiority. So what they're trying to do is, under the guise of something similar to white nationalism, push this white globalism. And it's insane to me, especially when you think of the disambiguation of white and how nobody really is white. You know, like, I hang out with a bunch of Italians and they're like, I'm Italian. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not white. Like, that's something, that a label that's been put on them. Like, Winsome Sears is running in Virginia for governor, and people are out here saying she's black. She's not black. She's Jamaican American. You know what I'm saying? She's not black. She's Jamaican American. Same way Italians aren't white, they're Italian. The same way the Dutch aren't white, they're Dutch. You know what I'm saying? And traditionally in America, we would consider a WASP a white person, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? There aren't very many of them left. So they try to expand these characteristics to try to lump everybody together. But the more that they lump everybody together, the more that they erase their cultural history and their heritage, which means that they're more easy to control. And we've seen it with the American Indians here, the Native Americans, the First Nation people, whatever you want to call the people that were here before the settlers really started to come. They erased all of our heritage and lineage, and then they try to replace us with $5 Indians. They whitered into freshly driven snow, right? Where these people come from? Because clearly they are Native American, they ain't Indian. And I prefer the term American Indian. I identify as American Indian. I don't have a problem with Native American. I do like First Nations people. That sounds real good. It just sounds real good. But as American Indian, because that's what the treaties say. You understand what I'm saying? And language matters. But now they try to manipulate language and all types of things. So we can't identify as ourselves. Like where I live, like we have a Polish section of town. Like the Poles don't live there anymore, but we have a Polish section of town. They still have a Polish club over there. You know, we have a Dutch town right not far from where I live. The town, the little section above me is Dutch town. You understand what I'm saying? Dutch town. We don't have a German town where I live, but they did say like the Germans lived in different parts of our area. But when did they all become white? You understand what I'm saying? So when they do that, that's lumping people in together to erase their cultural heritage and lineage, which is why I'm kind of happy that with Italians, their stuff is still so strong. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it a lot with the Polish anymore here. They're not as close knit as they used to be, you know, and I don't see it so much with the Germans anymore here, you know, unless you're maybe Irish, not Irish, but Amish, you know. But that's it. You know, the Ukrainians, we got a lot of Ukrainians here. They've kept their national identity and national pride and ethnic pride, I should say. Excuse me for saying national. Some of them national, and that's a whole separate conversation for another show. But they've kept that identity because they're more recent comers to America, right? Like they're more recent comers, but they lumped them all together. It's the same way they try to put the Africans and the blacks together. They're not us. They try to put the Dominicans with the blacks. They're not us. And the Jamaicans and the Dominicans be quick to tell you, me no black. Me no black. I'm not black. No, I'm no black. No black. No black. You understand what I'm saying? But this is a shadow hand moving together to lump us all together to erase our heritages and our cultures. And because that way they can easily manipulate us into social groups. And by manipulating those social groups, turning the social groups against each other, it keeps the elites in power. This is also the reason why they brought in all these illegal aliens to have us now focus on illegal aliens, which illegal aliens are one of the biggest problems we have in this country. But they are also a distraction intentionally to keep us separated, to keep us fighting and not looking at what the real people that are controlling the money, that are controlling the assets are actually doing in our nation. And that's very scary and very concerning. They're also setting up these illegal aliens to be used as a mercenary force against us. We've talked about that before in other episodes. It's very, very problematic. We got a couple of comments. I'm going to take over those comments. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Don't cost you nothing. Drop a comment in the comments. It helps the algorithm. Drop an American flag or a thumbs up and keep the conversation going. Let's see. Jews have kept their identity, Shelley says. They have. And we're not even going to get into that the way that I would like to right now. That's a whole separate conversation about how they keep themselves segmented from all of the other population. And you have to start to ask yourself, well, why do they do that? So that they can keep their culture. You know what I'm saying? Because they know the value of the culture. And I really wish Christians would do the same. Like, it bothers me that Christians don't do the same. Like, the Bible clearly, and I put up a post about this the other day, the Bible clearly says we shouldn't be having fellowship with these fools. Okay? None of them. Okay? Because they're not right. If it's not out there trying to actually actively proselytize to them, actively preach the gospel to them, we don't got no business dealing with them. We're supposed to be dealing with ourselves. our own people, uplifting our own people, coming together and collaborating for our own people. The Jews do it. What's wrong with us doing it? The Hindus do it. What's wrong with us doing it? The Muslims do it. What's wrong with us doing it? You understand? And these are the questions that we have to have. Thank you, Shelly, for that. I don't think I actually hit it to pop it up on the screen. There it is. Okay, let's see. We got some other comments here. I don't know why it does this with the comments. So I can't see them all. Let's see. Okay, Shelly dropped an American flag. Drop an American flag, y'all, in the comments. Drop an American flag. Let's see if we got any other comments. I think I saw another one. Dan, who's that? Dan? Yeah, Dan says, Marcus, it's the one world government, the elite cabal that wishes to oppress us. 100%. And that's what we're dealing with. That's why I'm telling you, they're trying to keep us separated and keep us unstable. That's why they killed Charlie Kirk. That's why they're trying to push Nick Fuentes. That's why they're trying to push this whole snap debacle. Now let's dig into that snap debacle real quick. Okay. And this is why we have to see all of this is going together and all of this is coming similar times. And you have to ask yourself, why is it happening at similar times? It's not, yes, each of the individual things are their own conspiracy. A conspiracy is only when there are 3 or more people get together and decide to do something. It's not necessarily a theory like they tried, like the CIA actually came up with that term to discredit it, because the CIA done all types of shady stuff. Operation Norwoods, they done all types of shady stuff. MK Ultra, they done all types of shady stuff. We can talk about that in other episodes than we have before. But when we start talking about the snap stuff and why it's important, we need to go back to why we have a closed a Congress that's not active right now. Why is the Congress not active? And people say, oh, well, it's Donald Trump. First of all, stop. It's not Trump. That's not how the government works. I need you to understand that's not how the executive branch works. Okay. That's Congress. Okay. So now that we've taken the president out of it, let's talk about Congress. So what happened with the shutdown? Okay. We got to go back a little bit. A couple months ago, they passed the big, beautiful bill. Okay. And in the big, beautiful bill, they cut a lot of the monies out for all of this crazy stuff like child sex changes in Thailand. Okay. And like, you can't even make some of this stuff up. Like, it's just so obscene. You know, it's just like, why are we funding that? You know, trans puppets in, well, what was the country? Afghanistan? It was Afghanistan or Pakistan, one of those over there. Like, why are we funding that? So they took stuff like that out of the bill. And they also took out illegal aliens being able to get medical insurance on Medicaid or Medicare. But now the whole time that we've been having the conversation about illegal aliens, the Democrats have been telling us they're not on Medicaid and Medicare. They're not collecting Social Security. That's not happening. They're not getting driver's licenses to drive the CDLs. Even though we had that one instance where they have no name given on the license that was issued in New York State. And Kathy Hochul said, yeah, I did it. These people, yo. But they told us, the Democrats told us again and again and again. And I can't talk about nobody else because these are people that said it, right? If they said it, they said it. And if it's a lie, it's a lie. If it was a Republican said some crazy stuff, I'd be like, they said some crazy stuff. I got some stuff for them in a second too. But the fact of the matter is they told us that they weren't on Social Security. They told us they weren't on Medicaid. They told us that they weren't on Medicare. Come to find out, they're on all of it. They're on all of it. I think they just uncovered, like, I think they said, what was the last number? 20. I think we're up to almost 20 million illegal aliens have Social Security numbers. You understand what I'm saying? And we know that over 10 million are actively receiving EBT. You understand what I'm saying? Over 10 million. Now, apparently there's 40 million Americans on SNAP, but we got 10 million illegal aliens getting it. So they shut that down with the big, beautiful bill. So now here comes the budget, which should be a full budget. Don't get me started on the fact that they're trying to push a continuing resolution. I'm not a fan of it. We talked about it before. But they put a continuing resolution on the floor. It passed in the House of Representatives, then it went to the Senate. And the Democrats wouldn't vote on it because the Republicans, remember, have the control of the House. They have more than enough votes to pass it without having to have the Democrats, more than a couple of people, maybe vote for it. So in the Senate, though, the Republicans don't have enough votes. I think they just have a simple majority. I think it's just 51 with J.D. Vance as the deciding vote, being he's the president of the Senate. And they tried to pass a continuing resolution. The continuing resolution was clean, a clean CR. Again, I'm not a big fan of CRs. I believe shut the government down until we have a full working budget. How are we the most powerful nation in the world and we don't have a budget? That sounds dumb. You stupid. You mean to tell me that Microsoft don't got a budget? You want to tell me that NVIDIA don't got a budget? You mean to tell me that all of these massive mega corporations don't got a budget? They all got budgets. But you mean the United States of America, the biggest, bestest country in the whole universe, okay? I said universe. I didn't just say planet, okay? And the whole universe don't got a whole budget. Somebody got to make it make sense. Drop a comment, okay? Hit a thumbs up. I do my best to pop your comment on the screen. Drop something good down there and just drop a thumbs up and or American flag, because that helps the algorithm. Let's see if we got any other comments yet. Not yet. So, but share this out on your social media. Now, as we have these conversations, right? Like, this is an important conversation. And I want to pivot because I want to get back. I want to talk about this snap so bad, but this is why I'm giving you the background on it so you understand when we get there. So now, because the Democrats refuse to vote to extend the budget, now SNAP is at risk. Why? Because the funding isn't there, because the budget isn't there. No budget means no money, right? So they knew this was coming. Now you have to ask yourself, well, if they knew this was coming, how come they didn't vote for it? Well, because they don't want to, because they want money for illegal aliens. They want the illegal aliens to get medical. They want the illegal aliens to get all this other stuff. Well, but they're not American citizens, Marcus. I know they're not American citizens. Why would you think that your representatives will care more about them than they would about getting you your food stamps? Let me get real close to the mic so I can say that again. You guys, the Democrats in Congress care more about fighting the Republicans for medical insurance for illegal aliens and for other monies for their pet projects and illegal aliens than they do about you getting food stamps and food assistance through SNAP. Because if they did care about you, they would pass a continuing resolution, but they're holding everybody hostage so that they can get what they want. Now, that's important. Now, as we have that conversation, we need to identify this as a very important part of all of that. It's not just that they're holding up the money for SNAP. It's that they've also allowed the medical to expire under Obamacare, the subsidies there with it. Now, wait a second. Who put the subsidies in place? The Democrats put the subsidies in place. They put the expiration date in place. So it's on the Democrats for purposefully putting the expiration date in place. And you guys can go back and look at my videos back under Biden, because I talked about this then, that it didn't make any sense that they tried to put the expiration date under the next president, because they wanted to have this as an option to suspend the government so that they can get their way and act a fool. And I said that and I got to find that video too. If you guys know what, when I spoke about that, let me know, because I got to pull that video up. But I said that was their whole intention, was to use that as a leverage against the Republicans. They want to use your life, the people's lives, their livelihood, as a leverage against Republicans to make them look bad so that they can possibly win some seats in next year's midterm. What type of shady, skullduggery, chicanery nonsense is that? They don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? Which isn't to say that the Republicans are the best people in the world. I got some issues with the Republicans, especially Thune. I'm not a big fan of Thune. A lot of you might know that. Or Johnston, But here's the thing, you guys. Hit the like button, hit the share button. It don't cost you nothing. Hit the American flag icon, drop it in the comments, and make a comment if you want to. We'll talk about it. So as we talk about them shutting down the government over these subsidies, you have to ask, well, where are these subsidies going? Well, the subsidies are going to the medical industrial complex. These big pharmaceutical companies, these big different type of medical companies and facilities, these big insurers and stuff like that, these kickbacks and stuff like that. That's where those medical subsidies are going from the Affordable Care Act. Like, can we have that conversation? No, they don't want you to have that conversation. Well, wait a second. I thought the Democrats were supposed to be against subsidies. Well, clearly they're not. And then you wonder why your medical bills are so high, because of all these subsidies from the government. We talked about it, I believe, in the episode before last on why Medicaid and Medicare costs are so much and why the medical costs are really so much, because of the continued government subsidies. Now, this is important. We're going to bring it all full circle right now. The whole plan of the majority of the Democrats as a whole, I'm talking as a collective, not as the individuals that are really maneuvering stuff behind the scene, but as a collective whole, is to regain their seats. It's to regain their seats in Congress and to gain more seats so that they can push their agendas. But in order to do that, they're willing to sacrifice you. You can't make this stuff up. And then they want to say now, oh, well, the Republicans should use the nuclear option and get rid of the filibuster and just pass it themselves, because Trump should just come in and do it himself. But didn't you just say no kings? What do you mean Trump? We just established Trump ain't got nothing to do with it. It's all Congress. But you want Trump to come in and do it unilaterally when you know that he can't, because he's not a king. But you've been out here protesting and marching and stomping and yelling and screaming that Trump's a king, Trump's a king. Now you're trying to tell him to act like he's a king? Who's stupid? What is your real goal? What is your ulterior motive? Like, can we have a serious conversation here? You know, then they're like, oh, well, they should suspend the filibuster and do a simple majority in the House, in the Senate. Wait, what? Where have I heard this before? Another thing that we talked about a lot before on other episodes previously, when Biden was in office, was the filibuster and these clowns trying to get rid of it. Okay? They're trying to get rid of it because they want to be able to push through whatever they want. But our Congress is not set up to do that. And they're like, oh, well, it's an old way of doing stuff and we shouldn't do it anymore because we want to get more stuff done. Then work it out. You're supposed to be a deliberative chamber. That's why the Senate is set up like that, because you're supposed to go back and forth and together come up with the idea that's going to help the maximum number of people in America and be to the benefit of the people. And now you don't want to do that. You want the Democrats are asking for the Republicans to get rid of the filibuster and push it through themselves. What type of a butt-faced cheesemonger are these people? You understand what I'm saying? Understand that these people don't care about you, especially, and I can't wait till I see Joe Morelli. Joe, I'm going to catch you outside. We're going to have a serious conversation because this is shady business, bro. This is shady business. Joe Morelli, by the way, you guys, is my state rep, okay? And he's out here propagating this nonsense. And you know who my senator is, who's the one holding this nonsense up? Schumer. Also, Gillibrand. Can't stand them. Can't stand them because they're not working for our best interest, you know? And then Morelli got the nerve. This Trump, it's that. You's a liar. You's a whole lie. Tell the truth sometime. Okay? Jeez. The truth of the matter is it's the Democrats that are holding this up. It don't mean that I like that there's a continuing CR, that there's a continuing resolution. I don't like it. I'm very much against it. Okay? And I don't have no problem with the government being shut down. I think the government do too much as it is. The government should be largely, completely shut down. Aside from international defense, I really don't think that the federal government should do too terribly much. I think they do way too much. I also think the state government does too much. Okay, and those aren't things. Those are facts because they've added more and more different amendments to the Constitution. So you can't even fit the Constitution in your pocket anymore. It's thousands and thousands of pages now because all the amendments that they've made to it. Craziness. And every time they make a new amendment, it's chipping away at your rights, your liberties, your freedom. And I'm so frustrated. I'm trying to think of which the amendment is, which is the if it's not done by Congress, it's given to the state or to you. I don't remember off the top of my head right now which part of the Constitution that is. If you remember, drop it in the comments, please. But yeah, it's upsetting. It's very, very upsetting to see what they're doing to our nation. It's upsetting when I see the state government expanding their power. It's upsetting. But to play in our face, you know what I'm saying? For what? And that's the real question. Drink water, stay hydrated. But for what? That's what you have to ask yourself. For what reason? What do they say in law? Cui bono. Who benefits? It's so disgusting, made me want to spit. And this is the real issue. Drop the like, hit the like button, hit a heart, okay? Drop a little American flag in the comments or drop a whole comment and join the conversation. So as we're having this very important conversation, we see what's going on. We see that they're trying to play us. And then they want to make each issue its own individual issue when they all tie together. And all it is about them gaining more seats in the midterm so they can push stuff through that you probably would want them to push through anyway, which they'll try to sell you as it's a good thing, but it's not a good thing. It's only expanding their power, like Dan was just talking about, where he's saying it's the global elites, one world order trying to work against the people. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is, Dan. You're 100% right. That's exactly what it is. And the common man is not able to see it. And that's why I'm glad that we're able to have these important conversations every week on Mondays, 2:30 to 4 p.m. right here on WRFZ 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. You know? So as we have these important conversations, I'm going to tie it all back up in a bow. Okay? This is all about creating destabilization and keeping you on your toes and keeping you guessing. What do they say? I'm paraphrasing the Bible now. A double thoughted person. I don't want to mess up the scripture, but essentially a dual-minded individual is unstable in all his ways. If you guys remember the chapter and verse that is in the Bible, or go look it up, somebody drop it in the comments, I'll pop it up. So if you're just trying to talk out both sides of your neck, or if you're saying stuff that sounds one way but is really another, they're trying to destabilize us. That's what it is. They're telling you it's good and really it's terrible. But the Bible in the end, it says the Lord will give people over to their nonsense that they want to believe anyway, even though it's not true. You want a delusion, you get a delusion. Stop buying into these delusions. These people ain't for us. They all working together. And at some level, some of them are working for good, but most of them are working for trash. And usually it's the ones that tell you, oh, we're going to sell you a dream. If they selling you a dream, they're probably the ones that are full of cheese. Okay? I got other words, but you know what I'm saying. So as we have this conversation there, well, what happens with the SNAP benefits? Then you get on all these issues online where somebody's posting fake videos and they're posting paid for videos. These people are clearly getting paid or trying to get more views to push content that says, oh, let's go steal out of Walmart or Tops or Target or wherever. What? Why would you say something like that and put it on the internet, right? Like maybe you might even do something like that, but you're going to say that and put it on the internet? How stupid are you? Nah. You know, and I know a lot of people really are not that bright, but I know for a fact that these people getting paid, and I know for a fact that a lot of these videos are AI, and it's all fueling the fire of destabilization because they want to create an incident where, oh, people are all robbing and stealing and stuff like that. What happened the last time that happened? Back during BLM. Who benefited? The government, y'all. The government. And they're going to use it to take more control over our freedoms and liberties. And who's pushing that, right? The Democrats. The Democrats are keeping the government shut down so the stamps expire so people can get unruly. Well, why do they want to get them to get unruly? Well, haven't they been saying they don't want Trump to send in the National Guard? That is a lie. That is a lie. They want Trump to have to send in the National Guard because they want to set a precedent so that they can use the National Guard. I live in New York State. I don't know where you're from, but during COVID, Cuomo and Kathy tried to use the National Guard for martial law. They used them for checkpoints in our state. Okay, that's crazy. Like papers, please, Nazis. Okay, for real. Then they used them for medical facilities. Those are civilian posts. What are you doing? Then they use them for policing in New York City in the subway. What are you doing? That's not their job. They're a military union. They don't do policing. What is going on here? So now they're like, oh, well, Trump is trying to use the National Guard. Do you think I forgot what you did? I'm not going to be for Trump doing it because I wasn't for you doing it. I'm an American citizen at the end of the day. I don't care who's in there. Y'all out here trying to push for martial law, create all the circumstances that would facilitate martial law being necessitated, right? Like, that's the biggest thing I need y'all to understand. The Democrats are facilitating the necessity of sending in the National Guard. They're creating the need for it to happen. What did they do? How did they do that, Marcus? How did it happen? One, they closed all the prisons, New York State specifically. Okay, they let all the prisoners out of jail. Now they won't lock nobody up. Bill reform, raise the age laws. Now they won't lock nobody up, right? Causing all types of destabilization in our community. Crime through the roof, okay? And nobody's getting punished because nobody's getting punished. Everybody feel like they can do crime, so there's more crime. Then they got rid of, they defunded the police and they treat the police like crap. So the police don't want to do their work, or they leave and they go to another state where they got it better and can actually do policing. So now we don't have enough police. The police that are here can't really police. The police that are here are not supported by these Democrat officials, which are supposed to be serving your best interest, but they don't want you to have public safety. Make it make sense. Then they're like, oh, Trump's going to send in the National Guard. Y'all shut down, the Democrats shut down SNAP, and then they got all these videos that are mostly leftist liberals out here talking about, oh, we should steal all the stuff out of the stores. Come on, man. You don't got to be a conspiracy theorist to see that 1 + 1 still equals 2, and if it don't equal 2, it might equal 10, and that's even worse. But can we have that real level of conversation? Hit the like button, hit the share button. It don't cost you nothing. Share this video out here, okay? And if you guys are listening on the radio and you don't have my YouTube channel, it's the Marcus C. Williams channel. Just search it, you'll find it, and make sure that you subscribe, okay? And wherever you are on the internet, make sure you're following me on the internet. Now, as we have this conversation, you guys, they're trying to push Trump to use martial law, to institute martial law. That's why they got all these crazy people out here attacking the ICE people. You think they're just attacking the ICE people by mistake? Again, this goes back with the No Kings. This goes back with all of this stuff that they're doing. It's one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. Like when you start to add it all together, we getting real close to the point where the straw that broke the camel's back is laid. You understand? You got to look at it holistically. Okay. What did Kamala Harris say? We exist in the context. Can we get some context here? You understand the context is that the people that are really in power behind the scenes need us to be destabilized so that they can become more authoritarian and have more control over us. They already got you killing all your babies. Now in New York State, they want to kill our elders too. They got eldercide. They call it compassionate care. Oh, just kill your elder because they're at end of life, you know, and now they're trying to say that they're going to put it in for people that are just having chronic health conditions. Excuse me? It's because it's a drain on the medical resources and the money from Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. That's why they want to get rid of our elders. They want to get rid of the babies because they can easily control us more when there's less of us and more of them. Like, y'all got to get with the program. All of this is against us. All of this is against us. That's why we need to pull back the power from the federal government, from the state government, from the local government, and return it to our communities and to our people, so it's on the base level that it resides with you as a sovereign individual. You know, your rights are gifted from God, not from the government. Hello, Bill of Rights. Drink water, stay hydrated. Hit the heart button. I see like 150 of you guys watching, and I don't see as many hearts, so hit the heart button and drop a comment. Okay, drop an American flag in the comments or say, hey, it helps the algorithm a lot and keep the conversation going. Now, as we're having this conversation, we have to understand, and this goes back to the previous episode that we did. We talked about it was either last week or the week before last. And we talked about the money push to get rid of the dollar and to go to digital currency, specifically the digital dollar. as we see in Britain, they're pushing this whole digital passport, okay, digital ID stuff, talking about it's going to be there by the end of the year, and you're going to have it so you can get your paycheck or even work, and you'll even get your Shoppers Club bonus points on your new digital ID. I read a book and it talks about that. It says that that's going to be what brings about the one world government and the apocalypse. It's called the Bible. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. It tells you exactly what's going on. And if you and the Lord's trying to tell you what time it is so we can push back against these people and stand up now. But not enough people are standing up because not enough people are trying to realize what's going on. Because when you say it out loud, it really sounds like a lot when it's not a lot. It's real simple. Power corrupts absolutely. And the people that have power don't generally want to give up power. And the more of us it is, the more united we are, the easier it is to turn them over and get them out. Y'all not trying to hear me. I don't know what to tell y'all. So we exist in a day and age where they are doing everything that they can to divide us, whether it's on sex, whether it's on sexual orientation, whether it's on political party, whether it's on this or that or the third. They try to divide us as much as they can, especially socioeconomically, based on money. Now they got the illegals here. They try to put them in a little wedge between the elites and them and use them as a wedge between us to keep us out of going up, what do you call it? To the next strata socioeconomically, because they don't want us to get closer to where they are. And as everything starts to go haywire, prices are going to drop on everything. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. And we've talked about this before. But what's going to happen is we're going to see housing market's going to collapse. It's going to collapse. It's already starting. And it's not going to collapse like a traditional collapse like people would think. It's going to dip down. It's going to dip down real quick and real a lot. And it's not going to be like it's a lot that it's dipping down like. It's just going to basically resettle to what you and I would consider normal prices for property, not these artificial inflated property prices, which in many places of the country are 30% over or 40% over, in some cases 50% over what traditional prices would be. And I'm not even talking about the people buying over the actual asking price. There's a house around the corner from me, not too far, and it's over by Jefferson, and the house is $200,000. And it's one of them knockdown houses that they built in the early 2000s that like the wind can blow. There's no insulation in there really, it's like made of chopsticks and stuff like that. And I'm being a little hyperbolic, but it's real. And they want $200,000 for that. No, none of the other houses, all the other houses there in the area are older. All the other houses in the area that are older have sold for less comparables. You know what I'm saying? So how do they think that they can get that anyway? But this is what I'm saying. And it's already starting to happen. And you let these people play in your face and say, oh, well, we have a housing crisis. Lies. Lies. Where's the housing crisis? We got less people now than ever. Where's the housing crisis? Let me tell you about where I live. Where I live, everybody's leaving. Okay? The city, the state, the county, everybody's leaving. How we got a housing crisis? Make it make sense. If everybody's leaving and our population is less, where'd all the houses go? Poof. In the thin air, they disappeared. You understand? Did they get sucked into a void somewhere? How is it possible for us not to have enough housing if we've got lower numbers of population? Make it make sense. There's a lie in there somewhere. Y'all got to wake up. Got to wake up. And drink water, stay hydrated. Got to wake up, y'all. But these are the lies that they perpetrate against us. So if we've got less people, it's very clear that there can't be more houses. But so what they do is, that there can't be less houses than there are people if there used to be more people, right? But now they'll try to bring in people from other parts of the country to say, oh, well, more people are coming here. Man, it don't matter how many more people you try to say are coming in here, especially to my city. The city's getting smaller, and people that are coming here don't want to stay here. I talked to a guy the other day. He came up from, I think he said he was from Phoenix. I don't want to get it wrong, but it was probably Phoenix, somewhere over there. And he was like, yeah, man, I just came here. I've been here about 4 or 5 years, and I don't even go outside anymore. It's just not safe. I just order everything in and I get everything delivered for me and I don't even go outside. I said, that's crazy. And this is a new guy, right? So for me, somebody who's been here pretty much all my life, I'm just like, oh, somebody's got shot by mistake last night. Well, that happened, because it's sad. It's sad that that happened. It really did. It happened. A young lady got shot dead, mistake, wrong bullet. Bullet took her life. Not even for her. You know what I'm saying? But I've become so desensitized to it. This is why I point these things out all the time, because they happen so much and city council says absolutely nothing. They do absolutely nothing and they care absolutely nothing about us. How do we have so many families that are losing loved ones? How do we have so many victims that are life-altering things now because of violence that has been committed against them? How do we have so many businesses destroyed because of the crime? And city council says nothing. They say, boo. I invited a friend over to my house a while ago, and they said, I don't want to come to your house. I said, why don't you want to come to my house? They said, and I don't know, if y'all know me, I don't invite nobody to my house. I don't want nobody at my house. I don't want to see you. I don't want you to come over. I don't want none of that. So if I invite you over to my house, you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's a rare occasion. Like the moon must have covered the sun, the sun, Jupiter, Venus, all the other planets must have aligned, like some crazy spectacular. You know what I'm saying? But I invited them over and they were like, yo, it's not safe where you live. And I'm like, what? And I want to be like, yeah, it is. And I had to stop myself and I was taken aback and I was like, well, wait a second, maybe it's not safe. And then I think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's not really safe, but I have to deal with it all the time. So I don't even really think about it. Like, it's always in the back of my head. You can get mugged, you can get stabbed by mistake. You might get shot by mistake. Like, that's always in the back of my head. Like, I know people that have gotten stabbed by mistake. That's the craziest sugar in the world. Like, you getting stabbed by mistake, like, that's crazy, bro. That's insanity. That's insanity. Like, but I know these things have happened. Like, these are real things. I know people that all of those things have happened to. Getting your vehicle sold and all of that crazy stuff, and that's happened to me before. So they've stolen my car before, it's crazy. So when it comes to this type of stuff, we have to see and understand that, well, if people are coming here and they're like, well, it's not safe and they only want to stay inside and they want to move or they move out, and you hear everybody that lives in the city, everybody live here, want to move out. That's a whole nother play because they're pushing for 15-minute cities. Okay, look up 15-minute cities, y'all. That's the way that we're going. Okay. Also look up traffic calming and ultra low emission zones while you're at it. Okay. It's all about power and control and to limit your freedom of mobility and to pack more people into smaller amounts of space. That's why they're now pushing for these modular houses. Again, why do we need modular houses if we got less people than we ever had? You know what I'm saying? Like, make it make sense. Then the modular house, they were out there talking about, oh, well, the modular house is going to be about $150. Well, you can get a regular house for $150, $150,000. Y'all know what I mean? $150,000. So if the little modular house is 500 square feet, it's $150,000. How much is a house that would normally be $150,000 if the average size of a house in the city is about 1,500 to 1,700 square feet? So now you're telling me that if that's that, then that should be 3 times as much. Let me do some quick math here. 3 times 150. Well, that's $450,000 a house that size should be. Who's stupid? I'm not stupid. You're not about to tell me that. Well, we're doing it to decrease the burden on property. Use an idiot. Okay, or you're intentionally doing harm to our people by pushing that nonsense. Because if we do comparable evaluation, which I'm not a fan of that. I am not a fan of that. You guys can hear me talk about that before. I'm not a fan of comparative values being what your house is worth or your property is worth. Okay. But if that one is 500 square feet and it's a modular home and the next house there is 1,500 square feet, then it stands to reason that other house has to cost 3 times the amount because it's 3 times the size. What are you doing to our community? Like, you are purposefully trying to hobble our community. Like, they're setting us up for greater destabilization than we're already experiencing. Hit the like button, hit the share button. It don't cost you nothing. Hit the thumbs up. All right. Now, as we have this conversation, and I want to tie everything back together with a bow. I know it sounds like I'm going around, but every now and then I want to hit it back to the beginning of where we were talking about. Why do they want the destabilization? Why are they pushing Nick Fuentes? Why are they pushing the SNAP benefits to be gone? Why are they pushing the whole issue with the shutdown of the government and the people not being paid? Why are they pushing that? Because it's all about destabilization. Every single thing that they're doing is about destabilization. They do not care. They do not care. They do not care. You do not matter to them. And that's why it's important that we understand what we are up against. You know, like, I'm very active politically. People like, why you get involved, why you want to run for office, why this, why that, if you're not a big fan of the government. Well, because how else am I going to pass laws to shrink the government? How else am I going to pass laws to get the government to actually address the issues that we have every day, like the crime, like the failure in education, like literally the housing issues we were just talking about? You know, who's going to stop them from doing some insane stuff like we were just talking? You know, how else are we going to address the issues with the lack of jobs and focus on entrepreneurship here in the city? Like, who else is going to, how else are we going to get that to happen? It's not going to happen magically. We got to get people in office that are going to actually address these issues. Come on now. Come on now. But this is what we got to do. This is why it's important, you guys. And we got to stand up and we got to get active. We got to. We got no choice. Because if we don't, it's all for naught. We got a comment coming in. Let me see who's commenting. Let's see. Oh, we got a couple. Shane said a couple things. Shane says, love this. The ones who should run for government should be the ones who don't want to. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, bro. I tell you every daggone it day, bro, I can't stand these people. Not a lick of spit, man. They bother me so bad because all they do is take away our rights, liberties, and freedoms. That's all they do. That's their whole point. Fill up their pockets and disenfranchise the people. And I'm not about that. You know, call me an idealist, call me a true patriot, call me what you will, okay? Don't call me late for dinner. Don't do that, though. But the fact of the matter is I, in my heart and in my mind, I have an idea of what America should be and is supposed to be based off the founding documents and the founding principles of the founding fathers of the founding of our nation. And these people are going completely against it. And I'm not with it. I'm not with it at all. And somebody need to stand up and do something. And I can't say you guys need to stand up and do something if I'm not going to do it myself. Well, I could definitely be one of them people, but I'm not one of those people. I lead from the front. I don't lead from behind. If we go into war, I'm not going to send my army out there. I'm not going to go to battle myself. That sounds stupid to me. Okay. That's why I'm not very big on a lot of these foreign wars. Okay. Because if I'm not trying to go, I'm not trying to send you neither. Okay. And I definitely don't want to send you if you're not able to take any spoils of war or we're not taking no territory. That's just retarded. Okay. And that's what we're not doing. Let's see. We got another comment. The comment says, let me see. They don't want, they want to abuse it, serve their term. What does it say? Hold on. They want to abuse it. Ooh, hold on. I can't read it like that. I don't know why it does it like this. They want to abuse it, serve their term, make a difference, leave. What's your thoughts on term limits? My thoughts on term limits are this. I think we might need age limits on government, honestly. I think we might need age limits, and I know that might get a little bit hairy, but I really start to wonder if we should have anybody in government that's over 75. That's a real serious point. We got far too many, what do you call them? Octogenarians, 80 and over in Congress right now. And that's a very serious problem. Like my assembly person previous to the current one that I have now, he died in office. The lady that was, what was Maggie Brooks, y'all? What was she? She was the one before Morelli. Was she the legislator before Morelli in Congress? Was that what she was? Anyway, she was in there till she died. You know what I'm saying? These people dying in office. Like, it's a problem. Like, they all old as dust, you know? And that's not to be ageist or anything, but it's just to say how long that they stay in there. Maybe we need that. Maybe we need that and we need term limits. Maybe we need both. Because a lot of them people in there are old and stodgy. Okay? but look, that don't say nothing for the youth either, because a lot of the so-called youth, air quotes, so-called youth out there, or younger people out there, are still full of trash anyway. And that's a whole separate conversation, but he's just asking about that. Let's see. Shane says, basing it off of the founders, I love it. Amen. Let's see. He also says, age limits too. I love that. It should be from 35 to 65. That's it. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. If we can get that on the ballot, I might actually support that as a measure. Shane says he thinks so. Yep. Yeah. So that's what it is. And I want to get back to this. So while we still got a little bit of time left, and I want to get back to what they're really doing to us, you guys. And if you guys can find that quote from the Bible, please pop it up in the comments, okay? Double-minded individual is unstable in all their ways. And that's just a paraphrase of it. But if you search that, I'm sure it'll pull it out. The reason why they want to keep you guessing and keep you unstable and keep you not focused on what's important, like our currency, like our housing issues, like the fact they're trying to get rid of all the elderly and tell you not to have babies. Come on now, stop it. But they want to import all the illegal aliens, right? And Chuck Schumer got on the TV with Nancy Pelosi. Them the two main people telling you to kill all your babies, okay? Sacrifice them to Moloch and nonsense like that. But they got up on the TV and they said, oh, well, you know what? We need to bring more illegal aliens in here because we don't have enough kids. Well, you don't kill all the children talking about we don't got enough children. What type of nonsense, insanity make me want to take my belt off? Come on now. Listen to these people when they talk. I forget who said it. Maybe it was maybe it was I think it's accredited to maybe what's her name? Not Oprah. Mary McLeod Bethune. But when they tell you who they are the first time, believe them the first time when they show you who they are, something like that. But it's crazy. It's crazy because they telling you to kill your babies. They telling you all of this, all of that. And then they're like, oh, well, we need illegal aliens because we're not having enough children. Come again? Because it's all about power and control over you. It's all about power and control over you. It's who stands to benefit, y'all. They do, not us. Not having babies doesn't benefit us. Killing off our elders doesn't benefit us. We never going to, people my age demographic, Gen Z and stuff like that, we not going to see no Social Security. That ain't going to exist. Millennials ain't going to see no Social Security. That ain't going to exist. Like, are we going to have a real conversation? Like, this is for real. Somebody else comment. Let me see. Who's commenting? Shane says, is this one? 2 Corinthians, which states, if you are out of your mind, it's for God. And no, that's not the one. That's not the one. It's something else. It's a different one. Thank you though for trying. It's maybe I should just take a second and see if it'll let me look it up. Bible, a double-minded individual is unstable in all his ways. It's James 1:8. Okay. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Oh, I said it exactly right. Look at me. I'm on fire. Look at me knowing scripture out the KJV. Straight like that. Oh, man. I'm on time, y'all. I'm very proud of myself right now. Okay. Let me give myself a little pat on the back. Praise the Father. Thank you, Lord. Amen. That's amazing. But yeah. So it's important that we understand that everything is to the benefit of the elites, and it's to keep us subjugated. They're doing this so that we don't see the destabilization of the money. And that's a serious, serious problem. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you. That's a serious problem. They keep pushing. I had a conversation. Let me see how much time we got left. I had a conversation with these. I'm going to come back to this in a second. So stay with me. Hit the share button, hit the heart button, hit the like, get it out there, drop a comment, help with the algorithm. Even if it's just an American flag, drop me an American flag emoji just because you watch and drop an American flag, or drop a thumbs up, But I want to talk about this real quick because we're going to come right back to this. because it all goes together. The other day I was at an event, right? I was at an event, like a round table type of situation, and it was filled with a whole bunch of orange man bad people, right? Now, here's the problem with that. I wanted to talk about local issues and local solutions because y'all know I'm about local issues and local solutions, and they're like, it's about local issues and local solutions. And all they wanted was me to drag Trump. What Trump got to do with me fixing an issue here locally? Not a daggone thing. Trump is the federal government. The issues we have here are the local government. Well, he's doing this and he's doing that. What that got to do with here? Talk to me about what the state is doing to our state. Tell me about that. That I'd talk to you about gladly. Tell me what our local government and the city government is doing to our area. I'd be happy to go over that with you. But they want to be like, oh, orange man bad, orange man bad. I was like, I thought we were here for solutions. You know what I'm saying? Even if they wanted to just talk about him, I thought we were here for solutions. I thought that was what we were doing. But they said, no, we just want you to say Trump is bad and all of this stuff. And for the life of me, you guys, that's not what I'm about. I'm about solutions. I don't care if it's Barry Obama or Barry Goldwater that's in there. It don't matter to me. I'm a solutions-based person, and I am a local-based person. I don't got time for Congress. Because I tell y'all before, I tell you again, I done thought that we long far past time that we should have took the teapot and poured it out. You understand what I'm saying? Like, y'all tripping. But they want to keep us destable and unstable and insoluble. That's like, you're like, that's not how you use that word. I know, but you know what I'm saying. But they want to keep you that way so that you can't stand against the government in a united front. Which also begs the question, why are there all of these things going around teaching you how to fly A-10 Warthogs and F-16s and stuff like that? That seems like a psyop too. That seems like they're trying to kick something off, make you wonder who's doing it. Is it us? Is it China? Is it the elites? Who is it? But it's more push for destabilization, and we need to have these conversations. Because all of these people, they wanted me to join in their pity party about all of the aid being taken away by the federal government because the federal government is shut down. But then they told me that I couldn't talk about other people and other policies that led up to this point where we are right now. That's crazy. That's crazy. If you don't know where you come from, how are you going to know where you're going? That's insane to me. That broke my heart. Like, I was taken aback. I was like, oh, clutch the pearls. I didn't know what to do with that, really, y'all. But this goes back to exactly what we're talking about. These people clearly couldn't see what's right in front of their eyes, what's being done to all of us. They were just caring about the money going to their little bits of nonprofits and their little social circles and stuff like that. Not recognizing that there's a whole bigger scheme behind all of it that's largely being pushed by the Democrats. The Republicans aren't much help on the issue on the federal level. But that doesn't change locally. Locally everything is completely different. Like, the Democrats rule everything. The Republicans trying to make some sense out of the nonsense here on the local level and on the state level in New York State, but they don't have any power. And the Democrats are doing all this crazy insanity. They're not even serving the other Democrats that they say that they care about. They're not helping the black man. They're not helping the Puerto Ricans. Y'all say that y'all care about us, but you're not helping us. You know what I'm saying? You're not even addressing the issues that you say that you're going to address. And then when you take that to the federal level, they've been saying that they're going to address the issues with the Dreamers for years. They done dragged them people from the age of 8 till now they 25. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of them 30, in their 30s. Like, you never done nothing for them people, and now they were getting deported. What do you think? Y'all did that. Lies, deceit. But it's all forms of power and control. They promise you stuff that promise you help that'll never come, the easier you are to control. And that's a whole fact, Jack. Now, as we talk about this and how they're lumping everything together, leading us up to a serious situation, you got the Nick Fuentes pushing the racist nonsense, okay? You got the murder of Charlie Kirk, who's trying to deliver some sanity to the world and actually have real conversations. You got the closing of the federal government. You got the ending of the subsidies, which then pushes the medical companies to try to run candidates and fund candidates because lobbying is a serious problem. And it also hurts the people. Well, when the people are hurt, when the wicked are in power, the people are sad. That's also a quote in the Bible. Go look that up. But when the righteous are in power, the people rejoice. And this is part of the problem. It's Congress, y'all. It's all these people working against us together. So they want us all destable. They want us thinking other things. They want us looking other places. So we can't see the collapse in the housing market that's coming. And what's going to happen is it's going to all dip really quick to normal pricing levels that we used to think were normal. Then it's going to skyrocket up. Now, at the same time we have that happening, y'all mark my words on this. Take it for a grain of salt if you want to. I'm trying to put you on. I'm trying to put you on $1 million worth of game for free 99 right now. Okay? Like, y'all got to wake up. So what's going to happen with the dollar is as they push more digital currency, they're going to deflate the dollar. We're already seeing it. We're seeing it happen. The dollar is worth way less every day. Every day it's worth less and less. I hate to say this to you, but I must confess, because every day our dollar is worth less and less. And they're like, oh, well, I was at this thing the other day, and they're like, we need a living wage. No, we need deflation. What's wrong with you? You don't get it. It's not clocking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we have it where the dollar is worth less, inflation, then your dollar has less buying power. I want the money that I'm making now to be worth more money so I can buy more stuff. You want more money, which effectively is going to make your money worth less. And not just worth less, but also worthless. Hello. Are we preaching in here today, or what's going on really? Drop a like, drop a heart, hit the American flag icon. Okay, hit the thumbs up icon, drop it in the comments. It helps with the algorithm. And share this on your page, your family page, your friends page, that one Facebook group that you don't really use, but share it there too. Okay, get this message out there. And it's alarming because people don't see what's going on. People don't see it. And it's bad, y'all. It's bad what's coming. That's why another reason why I'm running for office, because I want to do whatever I can to stave it off. I'm not thinking that I'm going to save the world or anything, but I do think that I can make awful softer and slow it down a little bit. Might not be able to defeat the giant in one blow, but I can definitely throw some little spiny things underneath his feet and make him hurt his feet and slow him down a little bit. And every couple seconds helps. We got to do this, you guys. Like, this has to happen. These people are working to disservice us, to destroy us, and to put us into complete servitude and dependency on the government. That's why they're pushing this basic income. Okay, it's also why they're pushing this fake reparations push. Okay, they don't want to give black people reparations, y'all. They out there, New York State especially, they out there talking about, oh, well, we need to give the same reparations to alphabet people. What? Who's stupid? Who's stupid? Oh, we should give it to anybody from the Caribbean too. What? They're not even American. What? What are you talking about? So that's just another push that they're doing. And it's a lie, right? And again, deceiving black people, trying to say, oh, look, we're trying to do something for you. Lies. Because what the gay people got to do with us? Nothing. And then you don't even want to say the gay people, right? Because now you're talking about people that believe in their brain that they're another sex than what they were born, or whatever the case is, or they're a cross-dresser or whatever. It doesn't even matter. Like, so you talking about all of them, y'all tripping, but they lie in your face. They try to say it's for one thing, it's for another. And really, you guys got to pay close attention to this, because what they're trying to do is gear people up for the concept of guaranteed basic income. They used to call it universal basic income because it's supposed to go to everyone. But now they don't want it to go to everyone. They want it to go to their chosen select few who they keep on dependency with them. And they're calling it guaranteed basic income. So it went from UBI, everyone, to GBI, who they so choose and deem worthy. And we know how well that's worked out for food stamps and SNAP. There's a lot of people out here working hard, barely making ends meet, can't get no food stamps. So if that's worked out so well for them, how well you think this is really going to work out? Don't let these people play in your face, y'all. These people are misleading you. Okay, and I really wanted to talk about a lot of other things too, but I think that this is the most important stuff to talk about right now, because we are headed towards a downturn. That's why they're pushing all of this surveillance. Like where I live, they're pushing this bus surveillance, this drone surveillance, pushing more cameras and pushing this and pushing that so that they can completely watch you all the time. Why they need to watch you all the time? And they're like, oh, it's for safety. It's not for safety. I know how the government gets down. It's for power and control. Don't play with me and don't tell me I'm stupid, you know? Because whenever somebody tells you the government wouldn't do that, oh, yes, they would. Okay? And like we were talking about the CIA, there's a laundry list. If you start looking up the projects, you can go on the CIA website and they'll show you the different projects that have become declassified. Look those up. Then you can go look up the declassified military projects. Like the stuff that we know is insane. And that makes you wonder what we don't know that they haven't disclosed yet. If you guys are listening on the radio, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with you online in a couple seconds here. If you guys are listening on the radio, make sure you tell your friends, your family, everybody you know to tune in on Mondays, 2:30 to 4 p.m. on WRFZ 106.3 Rochester Free Radio to The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. This is Marcus C. Williams signing off. Remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. Y'all be blessed and be well. Christ is King. Amen. All right, y'all. As we get ready to get out of here, you guys, I just want to encourage you yet again, make sure you get out and vote, okay? Even if you just write in yourself, vote, write in yourself. If you're here where I am, you know who to vote for. Vote for Marcus C. Williams for Rochester City Council. But if you're out there somewhere else and you're not sure of the candidates that are running, please try to look into some of the candidates that are running. Please, please, please get out and vote. I'm not telling you because I definitely want you to, but unless you're in my area, then I definitely want you to vote for me. But I'm telling you because it's your civic duty. But more so than that, they try to discourage people from actually going out and voting, because if they discourage you from getting out and voting, they can more easily control who wins the seats. And that there is a problem. That's why we have to overwhelm the vote. We have to get so many people out to vote. It doesn't matter what they do, that it will be an irrevocable win. Okay? I love you guys. Stay up. Make sure you share this video wherever you are. I'll catch you guys next week. If you're watching me online, make sure you're subscribed. Okay? Share this with a friend. Make sure you're following if you're on Facebook. And I'll catch you soon with more content. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube too. That's where I do a lot of content that you might not see on my Facebook and stuff like that. And it saves all of my stuff. So I got tons of shorts. I got tons of lives. I've got tons of other videos on there. And you can also follow us as a podcast on there. It's The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. I got the whole playlist of all the episodes each week. I put them all together for you. This one will be in the podcast list today on YouTube. So I'll catch you guys later. Y'all be blessed. All right. And remember, if you don't know God yet, please pray that the Lord reveals himself to you and get in your Bible. Okay. Get in your Bible. If you are a Christian, return to prayer. Okay. Return to prayer. That's so important. And return to reading your scripture. We need it now more than ever to guide us along the path that is coming and the path that is here right now. We need the Lord more than ever, every single day. And always remember to give the Lord the most gracious of gratitude for everything he has done for us and everything he has done historically. All of the major achievements that he has done, including all of the small ones that we don't even know about. Okay? So that being said, I'll catch you guys later. Remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. Be blessed and be well.